it to get eligible. And the thing though about it was, I remember, years later, they were talking about how he would go stay with Jamal Crawford. Speaking on that pipeline, I'll get into the pipeline a little bit after this. But he would stay with Jamal Crawford, who was playing on the Knicks at the time. So the New York is only a couple hours away. So he'd go up to New York and hang with Jamal Crawford to feel closer to home. He's a West Coast kid. He's from Washington. He's from Tacoma, right? So he feels uncomfortable being on the East Coast. He doesn't have family. He's 18 years old. He wants to feel comfortable. So he's hanging with Jamal Crawford, and Jamal Crawford is giving him that sense of home. You know what I mean? So Jamal Crawford is bringing him over to his house, and it's a way for him to just away from basketball to feel at home, to feel comfortable, to feel almost in a way, maybe like himself. You know what I mean? At that age, you need family, you need loved ones, you need friends, you need a certain community to be able to really thrive in certain ways off the court, because there's more to life than basketball. I mean, if you even get Isaiah's social media, says that if I was only known as a basketball player or a great basketball player, I failed in life. I failed as a man. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more to life than basketball. But yeah. So Jamal Crawford, I mean, he's a guy. He's got the J crossover league out in Washington, where a lot of people play at, and he's been a inspiration. He's been a guy who's helped a lot of those guys. Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson was in the league a little bit before Isaiah, so he kind of showed Isaiah the ropes in many ways because they're similar sized guys. Isaiah maybe slightly taller. I believe Nate was 5'7" and 3/4" with no shoes, so 5'9" with shoes. When he was measured back then, and I remember watching Nate for the first time. He went to UW. He originally was a UW. And when I say UW, I mean the University of Washington. He was originally recruited to the University of Washington to play football. So he was like a D back, I believe, a defensive back. He was probably a corner. Good athlete, obviously, fast, jumps high. And the first game I seen Nate Robinson play, man, this was probably hmm, maybe 2007, 2008 or so. This is back when University of Washington had Will Conroy. They had Brandon Roy. If anybody remembers Brandon Roy, Brandon Roy was cold as ice, man. He played for Portland Trailblazers in the early 2000s. Any young kids that don't like solid human being and a dope basketball player. I think he's a high school coach now, but they played together at UW, and man, Nate just went off. Like they were playing against North Carolina State, and a ball comes off the rim, and Nate he just slams it back. I'm like, who's this dude? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this dude is crazy in a good way, man. This man is hooping, bro. I'm like, yo, who is this cat, bro? And ever since then, I would always follow him. I would always follow him, and Nate ended up being a first round pick for the Knicks back when Isaiah Thomas was there. The other Isaiah Thomas from Detroit was the GM of the Knicks at the time, so he drafted him first round. And a lot of people may have been like, I don't know about that pick, but Nate Robinson, they were different. They were different kind of players. One of my boys, I'll shout him out on here, a guy named Rasheed Wortham, dope dude, dope dude. He back in the days, I used to help kids get into college for basketball. So he was a dude who really stood out in my mind. Like he used to help my buddy um when I went to WVU. I went to West Virginia University. So one of my buddies, he went to a school that I kind of went to. I went to the community college that was connected to a D2 school called Fairmont State in West Virginia. And then I transferred to West Virginia University. When I transferred, my buddy Rashi, he was the coach at Eastern Washington at the time. He he got my buddy tickets to the WVU game because he was friends with one of the coaches at WVU at West Virginia University. So just in case you know that